Out of the gates and ready to go. Welcome into this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. A loaded show ahead for your Tuesday as we will go over the latest news and rumors on your Kansas City Chiefs. They signed a linebacker. We got a contract update on Isiah Pacheco to get to. And has Justin Watson played his last game in Kansas City? We'll tell you what is going on there here in just a bit. Also, the perfect free agency plan does not exist until now. We will go over what Brett Veach and company need to do as free agency is less than a week away from officially starting. And then we'll break down the salary cap situation for the Kansas City Chiefs. As the Chiefs just got some good news from the NFL just a few days ago. We'll break down how that looks entering next week. And then we will do a Q&A mailbag to end today's show. Go ahead and start getting in your questions now using hashtag Chiefs or super chatting to get on the program. As you guys file in, shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get this show rolling. We're coming at you from the Chat Sports Studios here in downtown Dallas, Texas, where I'm looking outside right now. It is a lovely day, folks. Feels great. Sun is out. It's beaming, and we are enjoying ourselves here. Let us know where you guys are at. Tony, checking in. Sup, Tyler? Did you have fun in Austin, Texas? I did. I had a great time in Austin. Went to the NASCAR race this weekend. Got to see cars turn left and right at Circuit of the Americas. Certainly enjoyed myself there. Tony's checking in from El Paso. Stay away from the cartels, Tony. We got Loren in St. Joe, the home of Chiefs training camp. Got Paul in Goodland, Kansas, checking in. Where else? Where are we at, everybody? Let us know where you're watching today's show from as we get you ready for free agency here in just a little while from right now. Tony says, don't worry, I may move in May. Okay. All right, Tony. I don't want you to get abducted, you know. Yeah, that'd be a little bit safer. I don't know how Tony would fare with the homeless people in Austin, though. Yeah, got Joey in Cimarron, Kansas. Got Owen in California. Nate checking in from KC. Vicky is in Agency, Missouri. I got Neil in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Ahmad is in San Diego, California. And I got Josh in Louisiana. Scott in Springfield, Missouri. Guillermo is in St. Louis, Missouri. Tony's ready to go to San Antonio, though. That's where he's moving. Jimmy is in Wichita. Got Gary in Jersey. Little quiz for the kingdom. How many Chiefs all-time QBs can you name? I want to see who in their individual comment can come up with the most Chiefs quarterbacks. And here's my only stipulation, folks. I am only saying that you cannot name guys that are practice squad quarterbacks or preseason training camp guys. They had to have been on the active 53-man roster at some point in time. So, how many Chiefs all-time quarterbacks can you name? Let's test your Chiefs knowledge and see how much ball you know about your Kansas City Chiefs. Let's separate the Taylor Swift Chiefs fans from the OG Chiefs fans. Let's see how much Chiefs football knowledge you actually know. And I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm not seeing any answers at the moment. Are you guys still thinking? I'll give you a name. I'll give you one name. Patrick Mahomes. There you go. There's a start. Now let's see if you guys can go from there and name the most. Gary names Todd Blackledge. Okay, so we got two. Scott's got three names. Okay, so Scott's got the number to beat. You guys can do that. You should have Patrick Mahomes included in that because I've already given you Mahomes. Neil's got one. He's got Alex Smith. Big Tex is here with me on the ones and twos today. He is powering through. Credit where credit's due. I'm not at leisure to say what's going on, but hey, he's holding in there. Big Tex.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you joining us.
Yep.
Thanks for holding things down strong. Tony says, yo, Big Tex.
Yo, Tony.
Tex, how many Chiefs quarterbacks do you think you could come up with?
That's a good question. I'd say probably two, and it was going to be Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
But you have to give me some credit. I am a what you would call a recent member of the Chiefs Kingdom. You're
not a Swiftie Chiefs fan.
I'm not
though.
a Swiftie Chiefs fan. I'm a former Cowboys fan, converted into a Chiefs fan. So For me, the history is a little bit more recent, if you will.
Yeah.
So it's take it for what it is.
Tony says he got his leg workout in, by the way.
Good stuff, Tony.
Didn't
Never
skip
skip leg day. That's right.
Didn't skip leg day. Let's see. We got Chiefs fan names Mahomes, Blaine Gabbert, Chad Henne, Joe Montana, Alex Smith. So that's 5. So Chiefs fans got the most so far with 5. I know you guys can do better than that. How has nobody named Carson Wentz yet? It's right there in front of you. Did we forget about Carson Wentz? Did we forget about Chad Henne's Hennessy? I love me some Chad Hennessy. But somehow we've forgotten about that. Let's go way back. How's nobody named Tyler Thigpen yet? Or Matt Castle? All right. How about Trent Green? I haven't seen somebody say Trent Green. There we go. Trey's got Trent Green. Okay. So we got some more. We got some more in there. If you're ready to start today's show and would like a shout out from Big Tex, I need you to spam C in the chat. We already have 65 people in the building, which isn't bad. But I know that there are more people waiting that would like to join us. But we need to wake up the algorithm a bit and let people know that we're here, that we're bringing you this live edition of the Chiefs Report. And we need to find out who's going to be the early favorite to be the MVP of today's show. So for this next minute, I need you guys to spam C as much as possible. Tex is going to shout them out, and let's get some new names in there. So without further ado, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Tony, what's up, man? Nathan, Lauren, Tony, Pat, Tony, Nathan, Lauren, Bill, Nathan, Chiefs fan, Nathan, Loren, the King. What's up, Beast? Tony, get that workout in. David, Nathan, Trey King, Neil Brown, just hired him at Texas, hook him. Let's see, Lauren Price, Pat Miller, Trey King, Nathan, Paul, let's see, Paul, Flip, Chiefs fan, Tony, Trey King.
30 seconds gone by.
Pat,
keep going.
Paul, get those C's in. You want a shout out from Big Tex? Spam C. Nathan, Chiefs, Loren, Paul, Nathan, Chiefs fan, Flip, Paul. Paul's always getting those C's in. I see you, Tony, Paul, Nathan, Paul, Loren, Paul, Tony, Loren, Paul, Chiefs, Nathan,
10 more
the
seconds.
King, Loren, finish strong, spam those C's. Nathan, Gary, Loren, Tony, Paul, Nathan, Loren, Paul, finish strong. Neil Brown, Gary, Nathan.
There we go.
Good stuff.
Neil Brown checking in the chat.
That's what I'm saying. It's
New Texas assistant coach.
That's right.
Position to be determined, but he is on staff nonetheless at UT. Good hire for UT. I'm very curious what he's actually going to do, but we'll see. We're at 18 likes right now. When we get to 40, we can start today's program. If you love the Kansas City Chiefs, if you're excited about free agency, and you want to enjoy talking Chiefs football with us, we're bringing you free coverage, bringing you a live show on a random Tuesday afternoon in March. Then you need to hit that like button. Loren says thank you, by the way, for shouting around. Of course. Hit that like button, and I will crack open a can of cold Miller Lite when we reach 40 likes and take a nice sip when we get there. But we need you guys to hit the like button first. And when you hit the like button, let me know in the chat, and I will shout you out for hitting said like button. So let's see what you guys can come up with. 30 likes right now. I need 10 more, and then we can get this show started. So make sure to hit that like button if you're ready to get this show going. Vicky's already liked it. Sean's hit the like button. Loren has done so. Thank you. I need 9 more. Neil has liked it. Chiefs fan has liked it. 7 away. 7 away. Pat says like the video. Lynn says hit the like button. Gary says he's a Miller Lite guy. Hey, you can't go wrong with Miller Lite. Fine Pilsner beer. Tony says thumbs up. Adam did it. Chiefs fan did it. And Tony says got you covered. There we go. 42 likes. Much appreciated. Salute to the kingdom for making that happen. Here is what's coming up on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Go over the latest news and rumors on your Kansas City Chiefs that you need to know, as they've already signed somebody ahead of free agency, and we have an update on Isiah Pacheco and Justin Watson that we'll get to. We have the perfect free agency plan for you. We'll tell you what that is. Also got an update on the salary cap situation, and we'll do a Q&A mailbag as well. Super Chat menu today, if you would like to get on today's program. and get your message, your name, and avatar. The only way that we can guarantee time on screen for you is by sending a super chat. $sign next to the chat box. First-time supers, you get the KC chant. $5, do a little beer cheers. $10, take some shots. $20, get being boosted. $50, we will do a beer bong. $sign next to the chat box. I want to see at least one super chat today. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if it's $50. We're going to show you some love and show you some appreciation if you send in a super chat of any amount here on today's show. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with our first segment. The latest news and rumors on your Kansas City Chiefs. We'll catch you up to speed with everything you need to know as we get started here in a moment. Yep. Yeah, and play the intro video first. Yep. So, all right. Without further ado, this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report starts right now. Loaded show ahead here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. The Chiefs have signed a linebacker. We'll tell you who that is. Break down the latest free agent addition in just a moment. We also have a contract update to get to on running back Isiah Pacheco and his situation going forward with the Chiefs. And Justin Watson, will he not be returning to Kansas City in 2025? We have some fascinating news to get to on the Chiefs wide receiver in just a matter of moments. You guys know I've been hosting this show less than a year now, and I'm still getting to know the kingdom a bit. And I'll be honest, we have focused so much attention on teams like the Bills and the Ravens and the Bengals, competitive teams that actually matter, that we haven't really talked much about our division rivals because they're kind of irrelevant, especially the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'm very curious, how much do you hate the Raiders? If you hate the Raiders, like today's video. Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report, he doesn't think we can get 500 likes on today's video. So if you hate the Raiders, you want to stick it to Mitch and prove him wrong, hit the like button, and we'll get started with today's show. The Chiefs have announced that they have re-signed linebacker Blake Lynch after being released back in January. He makes his return to Kansas City, and if you don't know much about Blake Lynch, that is where we come in. He was undrafted in 2020 out of Baylor, signed with the Vikings, then made a few stops before he ended up in Kansas City with the Cardinals, Chargers, Seahawks, and the Raiders. 29 career games played for Lynch, including 7 starts in his career. And the last time we saw him on the football field was Week 18 for the Kansas City Chiefs against the Denver Broncos, when the Chiefs' JV team took on the Denver Broncos with Kansas City resting their starters before the postseason. And he played decent. He had 6 tackles and 1 TFL in that game against Denver. Here's the reality of this signing, though. This is a body, all right? No one expects Blake Lynch to do much at this point in his career. He has shown a few flashes here and there, but not anything earth-shattering that I would be surprised that he would make the 53-man roster at this point. With that said, no disrespect to Blake Lynch, but I'm not expecting too much out of Blake Lynch, if anything at all, at this point in time. This signing doesn't hurt you, but it doesn't really help you either. I think it's, in all honesty, a C-plus signing at best. How would you grade the signing of Blake Lynch? What do you think of this move? Type A, B, C, D, or F, and let me know what your grade is of the addition of Blake Lynch back to Kansas City. Folks, this is why you subscribe to the Kansas City Chiefs Report. When the Chiefs make a move, no matter how big or how small, we bring you a video here on the channel. And it's going to get crazy over these next couple of weeks with free agency. I don't care if I got to bring you a video at midnight from my apartment or if we're doing a live show, whatever it may be. We're going to cover every single angle of free agency right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. If you are a real Chiefs fan, you got to be subscribed to the channel. Let's at least get 20 subs off today's video. Subscribe now. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Now, let's turn our attention to Isiah Pacheco. According to a new report, the Chiefs have decided not to offer Pacheco a contract extension at this point in time, and there's a few reasons why. Let's start with this report from the folks at Sportskeeda, who said the following. An extension for running back Isiah Pacheco, who is in the final year of his rookie deal, won't be considered until the season starts. The former 7th-round pick proves he's back to health in prior form. This is the right call if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. The ball is in your court. Pacheco has no leverage at this point in time, and there is no need to pay him right now. And there's a couple of factors involved here. For one, Pacheco needs to prove that he's fully healthy, that he's up to speed, and that he can stay healthy, because he did not look like the same running back when he returned from injured reserve in the second half of this season. And secondly, we need to see how much tread he still has on the tires. You guys know the running back position, these guys wear out pretty quickly here. And if you're going to make an investment to keep Isiah Pacheco long-term, you need to see that he is going to be a guy worth keeping. Otherwise, you go with what most teams around the NFL are doing, where they have a running back on their rookie contract, they run them, as much as possible until the wheels fall off, and then they go sign a younger running back with fresh legs for cheaper. And that could be what's happening with Isiah Pacheco potentially. It's been a good run for Pacheco in Kansas City for the former 7th-round pick out of Rutgers. Replaced CEH pretty fast on the depth chart, helped the Chiefs win 2 Super Bowl titles, led the team in rushing in 2022 and in 2023. But then 2024 happened, and Isiah Pacheco looked good to start the season. That game against Cincinnati, rushed for 90 yards. He looked like his old self, but then he never returned to form. Showed a few flashes like that Raiders game when he had that 35-plus yard run, but I don't know if he was in the doghouse with Andy or what, but he didn't look the same and didn't necessarily get the same opportunity he once had. Right now, I'm leaning towards letting Pacheco walk in free agency after his rookie contract is up and replacing him with someone younger and cheaper and go from there. That's where I'm at right now. And I like Isiah Pacheco. Don't get me wrong. But this is the easiest position to replace in the National Football League. And I don't know if I feel that great about investing in Pacheco long term if we're not going to see him stay healthy or look like his old self. I think he still has to prove that he can get back to form and he can stay healthy before the Chiefs should consider a long-term contract to keep him around after his rookie deal. Now, let's ask you guys. Should the Chiefs extend Isiah Pacheco right now at this very moment? I'm not saying down the line. I'm saying right now. I'm saying no. What are you guys saying? Type Y for yes, in for no if the Chiefs should extend Isiah Pacheco at this point in time. Chiefs hats are on sale now for up to 50% off. We have the baseball cap style, the flat bill version, all sorts of different hats like you're seeing on your screen right now. And they're all in one place. Chatsports.com/Chiefs hats is where you can get yours today. And we have plenty of other hats besides what you're even seeing on your screen here, as well as other Chiefs merchandise. You can find them all at chatsports.com/Chiefs hats. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Get your Chiefs hats today. You'll be glad you did. Another report at the wide receiver position this time for the Kansas City Chiefs is regarding wideout Justin Watson. He has been informed by the Chiefs that he will not be returning to Kansas City in 2025, as he is set to hit free agency, and they will not be bringing him back. Here's more from Sportskeeda. The Kansas City Chiefs are moving towards salary cap hell and have some hard choices to make. I'm told they would like to bring receiver Justin Watson back, but they informed his agent they do not have the money to do so. In all honesty, there's no need to keep Justin Watson. All right? Justin Watson, he's not a game changer. He's had a few moments here and there. The Steelers game, he was fantastic this year. But he hasn't shown the consistency to say that you need to make a long-term investment. He's another guy that is very replaceable, whether it's through the draft or free agency, for a cheaper option. With that said, according to Spotrac, his market value is not that high. Just about a 1-year, $1.7 million deal is all they think Justin Watson is worth at this point in time. Now, obviously, we could see teams overpay potentially and give him an offer that's more than that, but that's at least what the idea is of what he would be worth on average in the open market right now. For Watson, he began his career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, won a Super Bowl with them against the Chiefs, then joined Kansas City in 2022 and was a part of 2 more Super Bowl titles. He is almost filling up that hand. He's got 3 rings there, looking for 2 more potentially. It's been a good run for Justin Watson, for a player that has never been a number 1 or number 2 or number 3 receiver for that matter. And you look at these statistics for Justin Watson, he's coming off a bit of a down year. Despite playing in all 17 games, his statistics were worse this year in regards to catches, receiving yards, receiving average, and touchdowns. Now, there is a slim path for Justin Watson to potentially return, and that's to play for essentially nothing. And then you could open up the door for him to come back. I think that it's not impossible, especially if he is not getting what he's looking for of that market value of sorts. Then maybe you can find an opening potentially, but you don't have to have him back. And at this point in time, I would be surprised if he comes back, because I think there will be somebody out there that will be willing to pay him more money than what Kansas City will. Should the Chiefs re-sign Justin Watson? You got 2 options here. You can type either S for sign or P for pass. Chime in. Let us know if you think the Chiefs should re-sign Justin Watson or not. If you enjoyed today's show, you already know what to do. Hit that like button, especially if you hate the Raiders. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. There we go. 1 down, 3 to go. Your chance to be Brett Veach. Should the Chiefs re-sign Justin Watson? Text almost unanimous in the chat. Everybody's saying pass. Very rarely do we have everybody on the same page for one, but then everybody on the same page saying, yeah, get him the hell out of here. And I don't think anybody has anything personal against Justin Watson. Mm-hmm. I think we just understand the production's not there, right, and he's not worth the value. Like, you know, it's okay. Like, we have no axe to grind against Justin Watson at all, believe me, but there's better options out there for a cheaper price.
True. It's time to cut your losses. I mean, the reality is, like, football is a business, and when you don't have the money to pay a player and they're also not providing a high level of play for the money that you're trying to give them originally, then that's when you have to cut bait and just kind of realize you got to move on.
So, everybody, I have not seen one person say they want to keep Justin Watson around. Everybody's out on Justin Watson. But Tony's got the right idea. He says, I always appreciate what he's done, but we can do better than Justin Watson. Everybody's on the same page there. Super Chat menu. Still waiting on the first Super Chat of the day. Who's it going to be? First time Super Chatters get the KC chant. $5 do a beer cheers. $10 do some shots. $20 get Bean Boozled. $50 we will do a beer bong. Yes. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. We will get to our second quarter of the show, segment 2, perfect free agency plan. We will go over what Brett Veach and company need to do over the next coming weeks. And then after that, we'll talk salary cap, and then we'll do a mailbag to conclude today's show. But let's go ahead and get started with our second segment and bring you the perfect free agency plan for the Kansas City Chiefs as we continue here on this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Perfect free agency plan begins right now. The perfect free agency plan for the Kansas City Chiefs does not exist until now. Welcome into this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. The Chiefs already making some moves within the last couple of weeks. We saw the franchise tag for Trey Smith. Now, what will they do next, especially with some serious question marks when it comes to cap space? I will go over what a perfect free agency period looks like for the Kansas City Chiefs in just a moment. Before we do, all month long, here on the Chiefs Report, we are in a sub-battle with our fellow AFC West channels. Now, we don't have a Chargers channel, so they're at 0, so we're already winning that. But I am happy to report we have a slight lead on the Raiders Report and Broncos Breakdown. We have 110 new subscribers here in the Kingdom. Welcome. Glad to have you all here. Raiders is at 105. Broncos is at 101. Let's keep it going. Let's build upon our lead and run up the score for the latest happenings in your Kansas City Chiefs throughout the entire offseason. Subscribe now. We're going to do live shows next week for free agency. Going to be a lot of fun. You don't want to miss out on it. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to break down what the Chiefs need to address in this 2025 NFL free agency period. And you guys know the Chiefs don't have a ton of money to spend at this point. Their cap space is currently at $18.12 million. But when you talk about restructuring Mahomes and extending Joe Tooney and a couple other things, then you have some serious money that can open up to be able to make some moves. And where I would start is at the linebacker position with one of your own guys in Nick Bolton. Now that you've taken care of Trey Smith and got him on the franchise tag, I think you need to look at doing what you can to keep Nick Bolton around. We talked to Peter Schrager at the Super Bowl a few weeks ago, and he made it very known that, hey, this guy's the heart and soul of your defense. He, of course, is the green dot. He's gotten better every single year he's been there. Obviously a part of 2 Super Bowl titles. Nick Bolton has been great for the Kansas City Chiefs. And for me, I think it would just be setting yourself back if you don't find a way to keep Nick Bolton around, especially somebody that's just now entering the prime years of his career. You look at what he did in 2024, playing in 16 games, 106 tackles, 6 pass breakups. Big emphasis for Nick Bolton this year was on creating turnovers, and he did that with an interception and a forced fumble. Coverage probably needs a bit of work. Gave up a QB rating of 104.7 and 360 yards, but he did have 6 pass breakups. I like Nick Bolton a lot. I don't want to see him go anywhere. And you're looking at his projection. Spotrac's saying it's about 4 years, $49 million. I know that sounds like a lot of money, but for me, I think it's the cost of doing business. You look at what the Steelers paid Patrick Queen last year, and you see some of the other options on the market. Ernest Jones is out there, among others. You're not going to find much better at this position than what you already have in Nick Bolton. And this defense has been so good for the Chiefs, but it can be better. But it's hard to imagine this defense improving if they lose one of their top players in Nick Bolton. I would do everything I can to keep Nick Bolton around. Will the Chiefs re-sign Nick Bolton? It's our pinned comment today. Chime in, let us know. Type S for sign, P for pass. Will they get a deal done? Let us know. Today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose 2 more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, maybe it's fantasy sports in NASCAR, whatever it may be. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money, sports action. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even have to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. PrizePicks is the best way to win real money this basketball season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on PrizePicks. I'm looking ahead to the start of the football season on PrizePicks. I think Mahomes gets more than 27.5 passing touchdowns. I like DK Metcalf in Seattle to have more than 999.5 receiving yards. If I put $20 down, both those hit, that turns into $60 on PrizePicks. Play along with me, prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. PrizePicks, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Another player that I think is a priority when it comes to re-signing is Justin Reed at the safety position. Justin Reed came in a few years ago as a replacement for Tyrann Mathieu, and he's done a really good job. I think he's one of the most underrated players underappreciated players in the NFL. The former third-round pick out of Stanford by the Texans joined the Chiefs in 2022. He's been a part of 2 Super Bowl teams now. And you think about this past season, the Chiefs, they had some issues when it came to the corner spot. And Justin Reid was able to kind of plug some of the holes that were caused by the issues with the corner room, with how effective he was. And he had a very good season. 2 interceptions, 9 pass breakups. Those were both at least or more than any season he's had in the last 4 years. Also had 87 tackles and 5 TFLs. His contract projection, looking at about a 3-year, $46.52 million deal to keep him around in Kansas City. I hope he stays. We shall see. If it comes down to it, you can only pick one to re-sign. Who is it? Are you going with Nick Bolton or are you going with Justin Reid? Type NB for Nick Bolton. Type JR. Who shot JR? Let us know in the comments which one you'd rather keep. Getting help at the wide receiver position. Now, I'll say this. This might be one you address in the draft, but there are some noteworthy veterans that catch my attention that could be options for Kansas City on the free agent market as well. Let's start with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, first-team All-Pro, a Pro Bowler in 2021, won the Triple Crown that year, was the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year, helped lead the Rams to a Super Bowl, and was named the Super Bowl MVP for that game. The thing with Cooper Kupp, though, as good as 2021 was, there are times where it has looked like that year was an anomaly because we haven't seen that same version of Cooper Kupp since. You can see his numbers have gone down every year since he had that great season in 2021, and he struggled to stay healthy. But the flip side where this works for Kansas City is because of that, he is not going to get nearly as much money on the open market as what he was making previously with the Los Angeles Rams. Another name I would keep an eye on is Tyler Lockett of the Seattle Seahawks. And at this time of this recording, he has not been released yet, but he's expected to be released from Seattle as they don't want to take on a $30 million cap hit. But Tyler Lockett, he has had a fantastic career. The former K-State Wildcat was a first-team All-Pro and Pro Bowler in 2015, 2-time second-team All-Pro, and had a long stretch with 1,000-yard seasons and was kind of the steady Eddie of Seattle's offense for a long time. And not only would this be a homecoming for him, considering he played his college ball at K-State, grew up in Tulsa, but his dad also played for the Kansas City Chiefs as well, and he's never really had that opportunity to compete in recent memory for that Super Bowl title of sorts. And I think that he's kind of looking for that chance to be a part of a championship caliber team. You're not getting the Tyler Lockett that we saw even in 2021, but he's still very good and could be a nice asset for Patrick Mahomes in this offense as far as that goes. I think Tyler Lockett would be a very good fit. I think you'd be happy if you got Kupp or Lockett, either one. It's got to be addressed, whether it's free agency or the draft, one of the two. You got to find some help at wide receiver. If you want the Chiefs to spend money, and there will be more money than people will lead you to believe, folks. There's always more money out there. If you want the Chiefs to spend some cash, type me in the comments section. Let it be known that you want to see this team go balls to the walls and spend money. Make it rain. Make it rain, baby. Last on this list, and this one I lean more towards free agency than I do the draft because, let's be honest, you're kind of looking for a quick fix at this point in time. All right? At the left tackle position, the most important position on the offensive line, you are looking for something to fix this situation right now, okay? If you go drafting somebody, you don't know if they're going to be ready, especially the left tackle spot. How many times have we seen where guys started at right tackle and then had to transition to the left tackle spot, that they had to learn it? I don't know if you have time right now as you're trying to keep this dynasty going to really develop. I think free agency might be your better route here when it comes to the left tackle spot. Some free agent offensive tackles to watch. Ronnie Stanley, the Baltimore Ravens. He's coming off a nice bounce-back campaign, but he's had his struggles to stay healthy in the past. Tyron Smith of the New York Jets is a possibility. Cam Robinson of the Minnesota Vikings. Started his career with the Jags, went to Minnesota this year. He's been solid. I would think he's going to be a little bit cheaper than Ronnie Stanley. And then there's Jackson from the LA Rams, who's a solid option as well. One name to keep an eye on internally is DJ Humphries. DJ Humphries, we didn't see a whole lot of him in 2024 after he joined the team late in the year, got hurt, and then we didn't really hear from him again as Joe Thuney slid over to the left tackle spot. He has made it known he wants the chance to return and compete for that starting left tackle spot. I wasn't impressed with the small sample size we saw from DJ Humphries. I feel like that's kind of your last resort is DJ Humphries at this point in time, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. Brett Veach even talked about at the Combine that they could potentially do that. For more Chiefs free agency coverage, it is going to be a crazy next few days ahead. We got you covered right here on the Chiefs Report. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. Halfway home. Up next, we'll talk salary cap, and then we'll do a Q&A mailbag to follow. We want to know, will the Chiefs re-sign Nick Bolton? S for sign, P for pass. Will they get it done? Neil says yes. Pat says yes. Paul says yes. Garden Gnome says yes. Tony says yes. Vicky says yes. Which one will it be? Will they re-sign Nick Bolton? S for sign, P for pass. Tex, I know that it's going to take some work.
Yep.
To happen. But as I've said on this program many times before, where there's a Veach, there's a way.
That's right.
And maybe he ends up being this year's L'Jarius Sneed, where you just say, you know what, we have to move on from him and try something else. But I think they're going to try to do whatever it takes to keep him here.
I think so, too. I think he's someone that on your defense, I know you mentioned earlier, you said he's kind of like the glue, or he's like a
He's a glue guy.
He's a glue guy. He's a foundational piece and a glue guy for the defense. And you don't let those guys walk into free agency and not bring them back when they're such an integral part of your defense. And I would argue that the defense for the Chiefs overall was, for the most part, stronger than the offense was, and they helped them get to the AFC Championship game. So you got to re-sign him.
Yeah, I think so. Will they re-sign him? About everybody's saying yes, that the Chiefs will find a way to re-sign Nick Bolton there. We have our first Super Chat of the day. Let's go, Trey. Everybody spam Trey. This is a good question for the mailbag. He's asking about Devonte Adams. Devonte Adams got released today. Should KC go get him? I like Devonte Adams. I like him a lot. But I think he's probably going to be out of the price range. I think there's going to be somebody out there that's willing to pay him more. I'm surprised the Jets just let him walk for nothing. I understand they're kind of rebuilding things, but you just gave up a third-round pick for him a couple of months ago, and now you're releasing him and let him walk for nothing. That doesn't add up to me. But I wouldn't be opposed, but I'd be very surprised. I'll put it that way, Trey. But that's a great question. We'll include it in the mailbag coming up later. If you want to be like Trey and sit in a Super Chat, first-time Super Chat is get the KC chant. $5, do a beer cheers. $10, we'll do a shot. $20 being boozled. $50, do a beer pong. Tony's asking, am I in the mailbag, Tyler? Tony, how am I supposed to know? That's a text question. He puts the mailbag together, not me. Okay, so Tony's got two questions. Tony, the only way we can get, it's always my promise to you, Tony. The only way we can guarantee you is if you Super Chat. So I don't want to hear any complaining if you didn't make the mailbag, because that's the only way we can guarantee, all right? All right. So, without further ado, question with the cold open here. Do I need to hard pause, or do you want to play the intro? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Without further ado, let's get to the third quarter of today's show. It is our salary cap segment. And then we will get to a mailbag. Start getting in your questions, hashtag Chiefs or Super Chatting. Certainly could use some more questions for that mailbag we'll get to at the end of today's show. All right, let's get to it. Segment number 3. We're talking salary cap as we continue here in the Kansas City Chiefs Report starting right now. Folks, I need your help. I need you to follow me on the gram, IG at Tyler Jones Live, for more Chiefs content beyond what you see each and every day here on the channel. And you also get to get a glimpse into my personal life outside of work. And this weekend, had a great time in Austin. You can see with the cowboy boots and everything, enjoyed myself on 6th Street. Here's what I'm willing to do, folks. For the first 10 people that follow me and like this photo right here, I will follow you back on IG. All right? Does that sound like a deal? That sounds like a deal to me. Go follow me on IG. Go like this photo. First 10 people to follow me and like the photo, you will get a follow back at Tyler Jones Live. And we'll get started with this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. The good news for the Kansas City Chiefs keeps rolling in from Roger Goodell in the National Football League in regards to the salary cap for 2025 and how that affects the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome in to the Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. The NFL announced a record-high salary cap last week of $279.2 million for the 2025 season. So what does that mean for Kansas City? Well, the short answer is that means they have more money to spend, more cap flexibility. Tom Pelissero making the news official, saying the NFL and the NFLPA agreed to a 2025 salary cap of $279.2 million per club. Per sources, another record high. And that's higher than any of the projections thought this salary cap was going to jump up to. We knew it was going to get higher. We just didn't know exactly how high it was going to be. And this is big. And this is back-to-back years now where we've seen the salary cap take significant jumps and jumps bigger than what was expected. For Kansas City, that provides more spending flexibility. We told you a couple weeks ago when it sounded like the cap was going up that meant that Trey Smith was back into the equation. And we were right on that. They obviously ended up franchise tagging him, and they're working on a long-term deal to keep him around. But it's not just Trey Smith that this helps out. Now, this helps out when it comes to Nick Bolton and Justin Reed and other guys you potentially could sign. This is relief that this team badly, and I mean badly, needed with the cap spot they're in. Currently, according to overthecap.com, the Chiefs' cap space is $18.12 million. But on average, you spend about $10 million signing your draft picks. So you can see that money dwindles pretty quickly here. And now you get this little extra cash to spend. Every little bit helps, especially for a Chiefs team that is looking to hold its core together and continue to build upon what they've started over the last few seasons. Do you believe in Brett Veach? Will he get the job done and have another fantastic offseason in Kansas City? You got two options here. Our pinned comment today. Type B for believe, D for don't. Weigh in and let us know. It is going to be a crazy next few days here in the Kansas City Chiefs Report. I have to come in and work on a Sunday. This should tell you all you need to know, folks. All right? It is going to get wild, and we're going to cover it here on the channel. From our daily news and rumors, our live shows. We're going to be live for free agency next week here on the channel. In addition, folks, to breaking news, Q&A mailbags, we're going to cover it right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Subscribe now. Turn on your notifications. You're going to want to make sure you stay alert, because if any moves go on, we're going to bring you a video here on the channel, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Subscribe now. Lock us in. Let's get 20 subs off today's video, and we'll make it happen. So to give you an idea of the salary cap to how we got to this point, if you go back to 2011, the salary cap was at $120.375 million. Then it took a slight bump in 2012 to $120.6. Then another slight bump again in 2013. And then we started to see the climb happen. Shout out Miley Cyrus. 2014 went to $133 million. 2015 went to $143.28. Then you had about a $12 million bump in 2016 to $155.27. 2017 went to $167 million. 2018, another $10 million to $177.2. 2019, an $11 million bump to $188.2. And then 2020, it went up to $198.2 million. Now you fast forward to where we are now. And 2021, with the lab creating that virus in China and the NFL losing money, the cap actually went down for the first time to 182.5. But then we started to see the big jumps. 208.2 in 2022. 2023 went to 224.8. 220. Then in 2024 went to 255.4. And then the projected number, what was thought to have happened, was, all right, we're going to be somewhere between 265 and 275. And then, what do you know, we went to 279 this year. So this caught everybody by surprise. And you look at the numbers just based on averages, you can see that cap bump has risen 12%, 7%, 12%, 8.5% are these numbers that we've seen make these jumps here. And we're well on our way to get to $300 million when it comes to the salary cap. Here's what I mean as far as these projections go. Over the cap thought it was going to be 272. Spotrac thought it was going to be 275. The NFL Network was saying it was going to be somewhere between 265 and 275. But look where we're at now. And so with that said, knowing that the Chiefs have cap space, okay, and there is more money on the way, more on that here in just a bit. There is no excuses to be cheap, all right? No excuses whatsoever. You got to spend to win. And I'm not even saying that the Chiefs need to go overpay for free agents. But I don't want to hear any excuses of valuable players like Nick Bolton and Justin Reed of sitting here saying, well, we just don't have the money. No, you do have the money. And here is how you have the money. We'll explain in just a bit. Who's the player you want the Chiefs to sign with free agency coming up here in the next couple of days? Give me a name of who you would like to see in Kansas City when it's all said and done. Chiefs hats are on sale now for up to 50% off. We have the flat bill style, baseball cap version, all sorts of different hats like you're seeing on your screen, and plenty of others on our website, chatsports.com/Chiefs hats, as well as other Chiefs merchandise for your liking, and they are up to 50% off while supplies last. So what are you waiting for? Get your Chiefs hat now, chatsports.com/Chiefs hats. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. So now let's talk about the financial terms. You have $18 million as is, but where's the rest of the money going to come from? Well, more money is on the way, and here's what I mean by this, folks. Patrick Mahomes, he restructures. Bam, there's $39 million that you got saved. Then Chris Jones, he restructures. That's $12 million you got saved. Then you look at Humphrey, restructure there, and that's $4.3 million saved with a Creed Humphrey restructuring at that point. Then you go to Jawan Taylor, and you restructure him, and you save $2.6 million. But it doesn't stop there. Joe Tooney, I think he gets extended. I don't think he's going anywhere. Then you're saving $7 million. Travis Kelce, you restructure him, and you save $6.4 million. And then Drew Tranquill, you restructure him, and you save $5 million. All of a sudden, folks, we look at this Chiefs team going from cap purgatory to close to $95 million in cap space. Oh, how the turntables, my friends. So, with that said, don't listen to the people that don't know what they're talking about. This puts Nick Bolton and Justin Reed in play. Just like I, your fearless leader, told you a week or two ago that the expanded cap would put Trey Smith in play. I'm sitting here and I'm telling you now that this puts Nick Bolton and Justin Reed in play as well. Also, it provides you options to fix the much talked about left tackle spot, which I think is going to be more than likely fixed through free agency rather than the draft because you need somebody that can make an immediate impact. Folks, follow me on IG at Tyler Jones Live for continuing Chiefs coverage beyond just what you're seeing on this program. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. Okay. Yeah, it's all good. Name a player you want the Chiefs to sign. Who is a player that comes to mind? Get in the chat right now and let us know. Tony says Ronnie Stanley. That's not a bad choice. Lorenz saying Aaron Jones. No, I'm not wanting to sign older veteran running backs. No, we're not doing that. We're drafting running backs. We need fresh legs, all right? I don't need a running back that's had the wheels run off of him. Aaron Jones is old. I don't want old guys, all right? Try again. Name a player you want the Chiefs to sign. Big Tex rejoins me right now. Chiefs fan says Buda Baker. Tex, anybody come to mind you'd like to see the Chiefs sign?
I'd like to. Does a re-signing count?
Sure.
I'd like to see him re-sign Bolton.
Okay.
I think Bolton would be a really big addition, re-signing him to the defense.
Yeah, I like Nick Bolton.
He's a good guy.
I would. It'd be great if he came back. We'll see. We'll see if he does. Who's a player that you would like to see? Dark Fear. If I didn't know what you're talking about, that would have a very strange meaning. He said, Tex, what age are you going for? I know what you mean, though. When it comes to left tackle, I'm looking for somebody ideally between like 25 and 30 that's already established starter in the league. That's what I'm kind of looking for there. Tony says, Tyler, baseball is back. Go Royals. Tony, I am not in baseball mode right now. I am not in baseball mode. When it comes to the Royals, by the way, folks, I don't know how many people feel about this, but my thought process is all I need from the Royals is just get me to August. Get me to Chiefs training camp, and then I don't care what you do. That's all I need you to do. That's all I need out of the Royals is be competitive till August, and then I'll turn all my attention and focus on the Chiefs. Now, they did that last year, shockingly. Years prior to that, hasn't gone so great for the Royals, but that's all I need out of the Royals. Just get me to August, and then I do not have to care what happens the rest of the way. We need some questions to the mailbag. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag. Like, Nate, you misspelled Chiefs. That's not going to work. I saw Noah Turner. He didn't use the right hashtag. Noah, you know better than that. It's hashtag Chiefs. And you misspelled Chiefs as well. You put a space between the hashtag and Chiefs. It's all one thing. Hashtag Chiefs. I don't know how many times I need to tell you. I feel like I have to say it every damn show around here. Hashtag Chiefs. C-H-I-E-F-S. Chiefs, Chiefs, Chiefs. Paul, how dare you call my school Kansas University? It's the University of Kansas. How dare you? Paul lives just down the road from KU, and he called it Kansas University. That's disrespectful. Kansas University. No, we are the University of Kansas. Rock chalk. There we go. Tex, what do we need? About 2 or 3 more questions? All right. So, let's put that graphic on about the mailbag. Chiefs fan, you misspelled Chiefs. Oh my goodness. How is this happening? So many people misspelling Chiefs? You don't know how to spell your own damn team's name? I'm shaking my head. Tony knows how to spell Chiefs. There we go. Tex, let's show people how to spell Chiefs, since apparently people don't know how to spell Chiefs. C-H-I-E-F-S. There we go. There we go. That is how you do it. Hashtag Chiefs for Super Chat. I'm putting a minute on the clock, and I need about 2 or 3 questions. Dark Fear's got one. He knows how to spell Chiefs. Very good. Very good. Yeah, about 1 or 2 more, and we'll be good. And we'll start this mailbag. There's one from Lauren, and there's one from Noah. There we go. People learned how to spell Chiefs. I'm very happy that people learned how to spell Chiefs. That's a step in the right direction. You know, if the Chiefs ever get canceled and have to change their name, though, the easiest name would be just to be the Chefs. Patrick Mahomes cooking up defenses. The Chefs. There's that one, I think it's a State Farm commercial text with Andy Reid where Chiefs is misspelled and it says Chefs. Looks good to me, yeah. Yeah. The Chefs. Yeah. It would be the easiest rebrand. If they're forced to rebrand, it'd be the easiest. We'd just go by the Chefs. You could have the same font, same logo, and everything, and just take the I out. Be the Chefs. What do you guys think? Should the Chiefs change their name to the Chefs? Kansas City Chefs. Yeah. Start with Trey, and we'll go from there. Mailbag time, final segment, then we'll wrap up and call it a day here on this live edition of the Chiefs Report. Let's go ahead and get started right now. It is time to touch our bags and drop our sacks on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. It is mailbag time. You got questions, I got answers. It is our final mailbag before NFL free agency begins. So, of course, the Kingdom has plenty of questions in regards to free agency. I already took a little bit of a sneak peek, and you guys want to know about Chris Godwin, Dalton Schultz, among others. We will go ahead and get started right away with Trey King, who writes this. Devonte Adams got released today. Should KC go get him? So we were recording this on our live show on Tuesday that we do each and every week. And Devonte Adams is available now. And I got to tell you, I like Devonte Adams. I like him a lot. All right? What? He is going to be pricey. And it's going to be a very competitive market for his services. Despite being fired from his job, somebody will rehire him and pay him a good amount of money. I don't think the Chiefs are going to have that type of money to spend. But if they do, if Brett Veach can find some change underneath the couch cushion, by all means, I'd love to have him on my team. But I'm not getting my hopes up that Devonte Adams is coming to KC. Now, folks, you may be wondering, how can I be a part of this next mailbag segment? Here's how. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. You will be alerted when we go live. And believe me, we're going to be going live at least a couple times next week for NFL free agency. Stay in the loop for when we have new videos here on the channel, whether it's a mailbag that you can be a part of, a live show, a free agency signing. The best way for you to stay up to date is by subscribing and turning on notifications and joining what we call the Noti Gang. If you're part of that Noti Gang, spam Noti Gang in the comments section, and we'll continue here on today's show. KC Mo. Whoa. Should the Chiefs bring in Chris Godwin? So, Chris Godwin, not likely to get the franchise tag from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Had a season-ending injury this past year. And the Bucs offense actually was just fine without him. But Chris Godwin has been playing some really good football the last few years, even prior to the injury. I don't know how he's going to look coming off said injury, but he's been fantastic, whether it's been with Tom Brady or Baker Mayfield. You can see he's been very consistent, and that's having to share catches with one of the all-time greats in Mike Evans. As you can see, 1,000 yards in 2023, 2022, 2021, and he was at a really good pace in 2024 prior to getting hurt. I could see Chris Godwin. That's one I could envision signing, but I don't know where his health is at. Be very curious, the physicals, what he looks like. If he's healthy, Chris Godwin would be very intriguing. I would love that idea for him to end up in KC. Should the Chiefs bring in Chris Godwin? It's our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in. Let us know. Y for yes, in for no, if the Chiefs should bring in Chris Godwin or not. Dark Fair with a $5 super chat. All right, Sin. If we were to go for a cornerback, I'd go Xavier McKinney or Jair Alexander from Green Bay. I don't know about Xavier McKinney. Jair Alexander is a fantastic football player, but there have been some character concerns. But, I don't need corners to be Mother Teresa. I like some corners to have a little attitude of sorts. But I don't think corner is as big of a priority as some do, because I think you have a very good 1-2 punch with McDuffie and Watson. I do think you have some depth issues. You need some help at the nickelback spot, but it's nothing on these two guys. But I think there's more important things that need to be addressed. But I'm open to the conversation, and I'm not going to be mad if you sign either guy. But I'd be surprised just because you have more important needs to take care of. Dark Fear, thanks for the super chat. Tony, you got your question in. Don't be mad at me, Tony. You got your question in, all right? Deal with it. He writes in, #Chiefs. I would love to see Pacheco do great in 2025, but I consider getting a running back in the draft, Tyler. Even if Pacheco gets healthy, would he be the same? Would he be fully ready? Okay. Let's take this piece by piece, Tony. There's a lot to take in there. First off, Pacheco actually has nothing to do with whether you draft a running back or not, because I don't think Kareem Hunt's coming back. At least I wouldn't bring Kareem Hunt back. So you're going to need a new running back. I think there's plenty of options out there that you can get in day 3, like Ollie Gordon or Devin Neal, among others. There's some really good day 3 backs out there. It's a loaded class when it comes to running backs. So it doesn't matter what's going on with Pacheco. You should draft a running back anyway. Now, as far as what Pacheco's going to look like, I talked to him at the Super Bowl. He said he felt like his old self, and he thinks he's 100%. But we never saw it with our own eyes. And I got 4 eyes, and I didn't see it. So that has me a bit concerned. All right? So I hope Pacheco gets back to his old self. But if I'm going to be honest with y'all, I'm not counting on it at this point in time. Hopefully it happens. Hopefully he has an offseason to fully recover and get back to full strength and look like his old self. But we won't know it till we see it, just like porn. So I don't know. I just don't know. Only time will tell as far as that goes. Smitty's Burner writes in, would it make sense for the Chiefs to sign Dalton Schultz? So Dalton Schultz, he's had a decent career with the Cowboys and with the Houston Texans. And I'll say this, with Dalton Schultz, you kind of know what you're getting. You're getting a guy that will get at least 50 catches and 500 yards and get in the end zone a couple times here and there. He's going to get 10 yards of reception. You can see 10 yards about every time. That's just what it is with Dalton Schultz. He is the most predictable player in the NFL, probably. But it's not a need for Kansas City for Dalton Schultz. Here's what I mean by this. Hear me out on this. And maybe Tex needs to put me on camera a little close so people can see my face when I'm directly talking to them with this message. All right? When it comes to the tight end position, and I'm looking close. All right, here we go. When it comes to the tight end position for the Kansas City Chiefs, I'll back up now. Travis Kelce obviously coming back. Noah Gray coming back. Jared Wiley coming back for that matter. What you are looking for, if you bring in another tight end, whether it be this offseason or next, you're looking for a game breaker. All right? You're not looking for another number 2 or number 3 tight end or a below average number 1 tight end, which is what Dalton Schultz is. You are looking for a game changer. Now, I don't think Noah Gray is a game-changing tight end. I think he's a very good number 2 tight end. We don't know what we have in Jared Wiley just yet. That remains to be seen at this point, just because we didn't see him last year because he wasn't healthy. So if you are going to make a splash, you were looking for your Travis Kelce replacement. Dalton Schultz is not a Travis Kelce replacement. So I lean towards no, that you don't need a Dalton Schultz. You need a game-changing tight end. Dalton Schultz isn't that guy. Should the Chiefs sign Dalton Schultz? I'm giving you 2 options. You can type S for sign or P for pass. Chime in the comment section and let us know. Chiefs fan writes in, Chiefs should draft Luther Burden, the Mizzou wide receiver, huh? I like Luther Burden. I don't think that's going to be the pick at 31, and I think he's going to be a first-round pick. I don't think he's going to be available when Kansas City picks at 31. I would be surprised if they traded up for him. And that's, again, not a knock on him, obviously, because I don't think he's going to be available there. I'm not opposed to using the first-round pick on a wide receiver at all, but I think you're more like looking at like Emeka Ibuka in that position. Luther Burden would be a bit of a stretch, but it's not a bad idea. But I just don't see it happening. Dark Fair writes in. Final question. Is it worth signing D-Hop if he's willing to play for the Chiefs again and Hollywood Brown back, since him and Worthy can help with spreading the field? D-Hop looked cooked. I'm not interested in bringing D-Hop back. Hollywood! I think there's a decent chance he comes back on like a prove-it type contract of sorts. And there's a small sample size in the regular season, but I liked what I saw, and we didn't get to see him with Rashee Rice. That's the other thing. All this talk about drafting receiver. Have we forgotten Rashee Rice exists? Have we forgotten that, folks? Rashee Rice, before the injury, looked like a top 10 receiver in the league. Now, granted, he could be suspended. And honestly, I hope the NFL lets him get away with it, and like just kind of brushes it under the rug. It doesn't suspend him. That'd be ideal. But let's not forget about Rashee Rice here. You got Rashee, you got Xavier Worthy. And then let's say you bring back Hollywood. You're feeling pretty good. And maybe you're going to draft a receiver. I don't need D-Hop on my team. So let's not forget about Rashee Rice. I know some of you have forgotten that he exists, and I understand. It's been a minute since we last saw him play football, but hey, Rashee Rice is going to come back, and I think he's going to come back with vengeance. Subscribe now to the Kansas City Chiefs Report for the latest happenings on your favorite team all off-season long. Going to be a fun week ahead with NFL free agency. We'll cover it all right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Subscribe now. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bam. All right, folks, a lot of fun. Always a pleasure talking Chiefs football. We will get out of here. Next week, I'm not exactly sure what the schedule is, but I believe we'll be doing live shows on Monday for free agency. We might be live Tuesday as well. So that goes back to my point of why you should subscribe and turn on notifications. That way you know when we go live. Because we'll be live next week, but schedule's still TBD on free agency. So going to be a fun next couple of weeks. Lock us in. Subscribe now for free for Big Tex. I'm Tyler Jones saying so long. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week for NFL free agency.